The first day of Frederic of Denmark's state visit ended with a gala dinner to which they were invited by Harald and Sonja of Norway. There is no state visit whose first day does not end with a gala dinner. Such was the case on May 6, 2024 at the Royal Palace in Stockholm and exactly 8 days later at the Royal Palace in Oslo. On the first occasion, the King and Queen of Sweden were the hosts, and on the second occasion, the King and Queen of Norway. And in both cases, the guests were Frederick and Mary of Denmark, who chose Sweden and Norway for their first state visits during Frederic's reign. After a day marked by a welcoming ceremony, a series of official visits, and a luncheon at which Ingrid Alexandra of Norway welcomed her godfather, Frederic of Denmark, May 14th, 2024, the 20th wedding anniversary of the King and Queen of Denmark, concluded with a gala dinner at the Royal Palace in Oslo hosted by Harald and Sonja of Norway in honour of their Danish nephews and nieces. Frederic of Denmark and Mary of Denmark left Dannebrog, the place where they had stayed and which had taken them from Denmark to Oslo. It was obvious that Mary of Denmark wanted to emphasise that she was now queen and chose one of the tiaras from the royal box, which were already in her possession and which, unlike the hereditary jewels, could be taken out of the country. However, after shining with the ruby tiara of Queen Ingrid, born Princess of Sweden, at a gala dinner in Stockholm, she wanted to repeat the feat and chose the pearl tiara of Poiret. This piece of jewellery belonged to Queen Lovisa, then Queen Alexandrine, then Queen Ingrid, and then Queen Margrethe, who began wearing it upon her accession to the throne after the death of her father, Frederic IX. She posed with this tiara in her first official photo as queen, and the photo with Poiret's pearl tiara was chosen as the official photo for her abdication. So Mary of Denmark not only wanted to pay homage to her mother-in-law by wearing her favourite tiara, as well as earrings and brooch, but also to show that she was now Queen of Denmark. Consort, mind you. The effect wouldn't be the same with a bridal tiara, and Mary of Denmark doesn't miss a stitch. And speaking of stitches and threads, her dress deserves a special mention. Queen Mary likes to alter her old ball gowns to make them look like new, and at the gala dinner she did just that. She took the lavender Birgit Holstein gown she wore at the wedding of Carl Philip and Sophie of Sweden on June 13th, 2015, from her closet and altered it by shortening the length of the skirt, widening the waistband or draping the shoulders with organza. As the young saxophonist played, the royals attending the dinner took the stage. Harald of Norway held Queen Mary of Denmark under his arm. The Norwegian monarch wore the Order of the Elephant. Behind walked the King of Denmark with the Order of Saint. Olav and Sonja of Norway with the Order of the Elephant and an emerald tiara and the rest of the decorations of this object intended for the Queens of Norway and especially liked by Sonja of Norway. Following Prince Haakon, who wore the Order of the Elephant, was Princess Mette-Marit, who wore an amethyst tiara and Queen Maud's aquamarine brooch. The procession was closed by Princess Astrid, who, despite her mobility problems, sometimes does without a wheelchair. Harald of Norway's sister was adorned with Queen Alexandra's turquoise tiara, a piece of British jewellery inherited by her daughter, Queen of Norway. At the dinner, Queen Sonja sat next to Frederic, with Queen Mary on the other side and King Harald next to her. There were speeches that recalled anecdotes, good family relations, or the 20th wedding anniversary of the guests. At the gala dinner, attended by 201 guests, Norwegian asparagus with egg cream, chokri and rolls, carrot tarte, halibut, and for dessert, raspberries and chocolate was served.to conclude the first day of Frederic of Denmark's state visit to Norway, which ended with a gala dinner at the Royal Palace in Oslo. It can be said that it was a magnificent and memorable event, reflecting the deep ties and warm relations between the Danish and Norwegian royal families. The gala dinner in honour of Frederic and Mary of Denmark, hosted by Harald and Sonja of Norway, was not just a formal reception, but a sign of respect and friendship. The choice of Mary of Denmark, now Queen, to wear Poiret's pearl tiara symbolised not only a tribute to her mother-in-law, Queen Margrethe, but also emphasised her new status. The adaptation of her old Birgit Holstein ball gown for the new event demonstrates her ability to combine tradition and modernity, which also reflects the zeitgeist and Mary's personal style as queen. The presence of dignitaries including Prince Haakon and Princess Mette-Marit, adorned with orders and jewellery, added to the solemnity of the event. The dinner menu, which included Norwegian asparagus cream with eggs, carrot tartar, a halibut, and a raspberry and chocolate dessert, reflected the sophistication and attention to detail that is a hallmark of royal receptions. Speeches, reminiscences, and anecdotes at the dinner emphasised not only the formal but also the personal ties between the families and celebrated Frederic and Mary of Denmark's 20th wedding anniversary. Moments like these are a reminder that behind all the pageantry and formality are living human relationships and stories. All in all, the gala dinner was a bright start to the state visit and a symbol of the strengthening of friendly ties between Denmark and Norway. It left behind a feeling of festivity, mutual respect and warmth, which will long remain in the memory of all those present.